All right, y'all, welcome to the Mad Rhythms Podcast Network. This is the Either And Podcast, and I'm your host, Brill Barrett. When there's contention and controversy, most people believe the solution has to be either or. I believe the solution lies somewhere in either and. All right, y'all, welcome to the Either And Podcast. I am your host, Brill Barrett, and this episode, I'd like to welcome our guest for the evening, because it seems like it's going to be a long one with the two of us, is Bianca Shaw. Give her a round of applause.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Bianca, for joining us. So,
pleasure's mine.
We have already had a class together, so you've gotten to dip your toe in the waters of tap. What did you think about your first tap class?
I thought it was amazing. Way better than what I've anticipated. Because I wasn't sure of how it works, but it's just rhythm and
So I'm curious, what did you anticipate?
Nothing, because I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. I know it's just something I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
So,
okay, good.
So I'm happy. I mean, I'm very happy. I mean, I was lighting up in there because I love just seeing people have fun and be true to themselves and to express art in the way that they express art and to teach others their way of expressing that art.
And I will say, you made it fun. It was fun teaching you, too, because you have to be one of the most animated people I've ever met in my life. I loved it. You was having fun in between steps. You was doing little dances. I was like, see, this makes teaching fun.
Yeah, because I feel like adulting is hard because people forget to have fun. I don't know what it is. I still would enjoy playing it. Right now, so.
Oh, really? Tag, you're it. No, I'm just joking. We can run around.
Yeah, the ding dong, whatever. You know, I enjoy playing those games, but I think as adults we kind of forget that inner child.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're right. As a matter of fact, I think we're gonna instill some adult games, Vanessa. We can put that on the schedule.
Now, hold up. He's talking about adult games. He got the grown and sexy.
But I didn't. Okay, I didn't mean it like that. I was going exactly.
Saying no cussing on the show.
Well, let the church say amen. So, I agree with you. I think it's good to have fun and play those games and just to let go of the world sometimes, because it's crazy out here, and we're under no illusions about what's going on out here. So, able to find that light and find moments to take for yourself and just for your own wellness. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
The news?
Do I still watch the news? I'm kind of a news junkie.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of my peers who say they try to stay away from the news just because it depresses them. But also, I mean, I guess that's my question of, are you running away from the reality of it all?
I kind of want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I know, there's a whole bunch of conversations that can happen with people about which news you watch gives you which story of what's going on and all that. So I kind of watch, just like when we were having that conversation about religion earlier, news-wise, I kind of watch a little bit of everything so I can formulate my own idea of where the truth lies in between all the coverage.
Are you voting for mayor?
Yes, I am.
Should you not say that on here?
Well, we are funded by a nonprofit, so we are not to be political. But yes, I am voting. I think it's very important to vote. I'm not saying who I'm voting for. Yeah. I actually don't know yet. I'm not saying because I don't know yet. I know who I'm not voting for. But
I know who I'm not voting for, too. But I'm going to have to be honest with you. I watched the mayoral candidacy. And I really feel like none of them are really genuine. I think it's what I'm getting.
You think they politicking?
Yeah.
They're saying the things that they think people want to hear them say.
Yeah, I don't see the need for a community there. Any of their eyes.
Interesting.
It really is funny. I mean, to be that is. I would vote for him just to laugh because he's real. What he's saying is not wrong. It's just that his approach is wrong. We know that approach goes a long way.
Yeah, this is true.
In the world, so he's just like stuck in his ways, kind of.
Yeah, and he says it the same way every time, which I find I'm like, well, at least there's no doubts about where he falls on that specific thing. He don't flip flop on the issue nor how he says it.
Yeah.
So you know,
I can appreciate that from people who
yeah,
the truth, like Trump. And I don't want to get into politics or anything like that, but it's just talking about.
I don't want to get into politics, but Trump.
It's just talking about people. Like
yeah, that's true.
Everybody be mad at him, but would you rather the devil you know or the devil you don't?
Now I will say in this case, in regards to Trump, I'm gonna say that I don't want the devil I know. I don't. I'm gonna try a new devil.
Told you. You know,
I'm willing to try a new devil in that case.
They in the closet.
But in any event, but I'm glad that you brought it back because it really comes down to people. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things, so the premise, I don't know if you're. The premise behind the Either And podcast is that usually everybody has their idea on the way something should be handled. And usually people can only see their way and their way only. If this is the problem, I got my solution and that's the only solution. And then you might have your solution and you think that's the only solution. But the real solution kind of lies between the best of each of our ideas. Yeah. So I'm just very much like I said, studying religions, I've experienced a lot of them. Politics, news, I study and read all of it. I'm a firm believer that a lot of times the solutions are not either or, but it's either and. We take, if I think we got to deal with education and you think we got to deal with funding from a different area, it's probably both of those. Like housing is a problem in our community, but so is education. And so is I think it's, you got to look at it in the bigger scheme of things. Yeah, so
such a layer onion. It's like, where do we start?
So you and I both from the West Side. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. This podcast is happening in the beautiful community, the neighborhood of Bronzeville, at the Harold Washington Culture Center, which is a landmark here in Bronzeville. But not only are we both from the West Side, we both grew up in North Lawndale, the same exact community, literally a block over from each other. Yeah. So, and you said you went to BBF, which is also a place I went as a child. It's where I got exposed to the arts. So, first of all, are people surprised that you're from the West Side?
Yeah, they always think I'm from the suburbs or something. Mom, hold up. Now, me talking more, they're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I only ask you that because people always, my whole life, oh, you from the West Side?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think that. I'm like, what do y'all think what do y'all think of the West Side? So,
and it's really community to me from the West Side and growing up there. Like I loved growing up with family. We had so many friends on our block, and there's still a family community. They don't all live there anymore.
Right.
Some of them have died or moved on to better neighborhoods, quote unquote. So I mean, that is true.
Yeah,
I just want better for our neighborhoods.
I do. The
restaurants, just all of it. The fences, the grass. When you're younger, you don't really think of.
You don't think about any of that.
You're older, you're like, I just want grass and a yard.
Yeah, right.
Somebody calling out for Brenda in the morning. Like, who is that?
Well, the funny thing is when you talk about the community that we grew up in, I agree with you on because I grew up on 18th and Millard. And all the families knew. Like, when you asked me if I knew your family, I was like, what's the last name? Because we knew that's where the Walkers live. Yeah, that's where the so-and-sos live. Like, we all knew that. And I often tell the kids that I work with, there was a lady on my block, we called her Eyewitness Ann. Miss Ann knew and saw everything. She sat on her porch all day, every day.
Did she have a red porch?
Yes.
You stay just right next door to me. How did you know Miss
Ann? Maybe it was a Miss Ann on more than one block. Because I was on Millard. You said you was on Central Park. As a matter of fact, it's probably good if there was a Miss Ann on every block.
You Miss Hooker?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, yeah.
The corner store?
Yeah. We
the store Red?
No. Oh, I know which store you're talking about, though. Because there wasn't a lot. We used to walk across. Yeah. See?
Elbows?
Of course.
Sir Chicken? We need Sir Chicken back. That chicken was the best.
Sir Chicken, yeah. And then Pop In.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
It was the grocery store on 16th Street next to Sir Chicken. Well, a block down. A block.
I ain't go that far. Chicken place came on back.
You went to the chicken place and came on back. Yeah. I don't even remember what I was saying.
No,
you started taking me down memory lane. Right? And that's the good part of it. Oh, I was saying Miss Ann saw everything. And as kids, we didn't want Miss Ann to see everything because we knew if Miss Ann saw, she would get on us about it. Then she would tell our parents, and they would get on us about it.
Yeah.
I look at the situations now, and kids get in trouble, and then their parents come to fight the person that said something. Did you say something to my child? I'm like, that ain't how we did it.
And I work with the youth a lot, the children, part of quite a few nonprofit organizations, and I did community work out in Altgeld Gardens.
Ooh, okay.
I could just tell that some of the children that were misbehaving or maybe just misguided, I would call their parents, and their parents would come up, and then it's like, I can't even be mad at you no more.
Because this is what you got at home.
I want to give you a hug because it's like you got it, honestly, I guess. So it's just, I feel like up to us and the leaders within the community or the teachers and the mentors to be able to guide them back to the safe space.
Yeah,
I feel like that doesn't help anyone when we have this constant cycle of toxicity with parenting.
Ooh. Come on now. Toxicity, I believe, is the word of the day. Every time no, I'm just joking. But no, you're absolutely right. You hitting on some real deep stuff. And I love it. And let me say this. So we're doing this podcast as one of many in honor of Women's History Month. And I think one of the things that I thought about in coming to interview you was just, again, being a young black woman from the west side of Chicago. I know what North Lawndale was like growing up for me.
Yeah.
And I also know that I was ostracized a lot because I danced. Like, I danced when I was younger. So a boy who danced...
Yeah, they try to tell you weird or...
Yeah. You know, all the stereotypes that could be. I went through that. And so I'm just wondering, what do you remember about growing up in North Lawndale, and how did it shape you in one way or the other?
Yeah, like I said, I remember a lot of family. Like, there were there were many children on the block, same ages. So we had a ball. We had so much fun growing up. I don't remember the winters because everybody going.
Everybody in the house. Right? That's right. But the summers.
The summer times was busting. It's like the Sandlot or something.
Hold on. Let me test you out. What time did you have to be home?
When the street lights came on. I'm black. My mom
that was the test. If you had said any actual clock time, I'd be like,
No, that's the thing. That needs to be a real.
When the street lights came on, you have just won.
Yeah.
Hood Trivia 101. Yeah.
Everybody scattered. Like, it was like everybody ran in the house, and if your mama or father came out to call you, it was too late.
Yeah.
You already getting in trouble. Or they say, like, don't go past this tree. Or,
then the street lights would start flickering, and you'd be like,
oh, yeah, I'm out of here.
Boom, everybody was out. Here's another test. If you was out playing, how many times could you come in?
Let me see. Once. You got to go in and out. Don't go out my house.
What you doing in here? I had to use the bathroom one time, and you go out, and you stay out. If you come in, you got to stay in.
They always said I never understood the logic. I guess I get it, so you won't track like in the
I don't think it was that. I think they finally had moments to themselves. Yep. Yeah. And they was like sense. But I think this goes back to what you said earlier. They were confident knowing that we were out, but we were out amongst community, so they wasn't worried about us being out there all day.
Yeah, there was always somebody there to watch you.
Yeah.
Care for you. Nowadays, you don't know nobody on the block. Nobody want to talk to you.
You don't know people in the same building, upstairs, downstairs from you.
Yeah. They're trying to one-up you on something. It's like, what is wrong with you people? Like, what happened to humanity? That's
yeah.
Like, where is it?
Well, you know what? I try to take it wherever I go. Like, I live in West Garfield Park now.
Nice.
And I know my neighbors on both sides of me. We look out for each other. But that was an intentional introduction. Yeah. We neighbors less because that's what I brought from where I grew up. I brought that with me.
Did you go with some cookies? Or
No, I didn't do that. I didn't show up with treats. We just
I see your snacks ain't free out there.
That's right.
He does not cook or give snacks to everyone.
That's right. But no, that was just literally an introduction. I introduced myself, and I feel like me and one of my neighbors, we bonded over mail. Because whenever they left packages, we would get each other's packages. And, I've heard people telling stories about the people downstairs stole their package. Like, so I think we underestimate how something simply as, I got your package.
Yeah.
And they give it to you. And I'm like, Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genuine people. Yeah.
So yeah, I just try to take it with me. I try to take the humanity with me everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. That's basically what I remember about growing up is just that family and that community, and that's what I carry with me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I didn't have a rough time growing up there in my family. They used to call us the Cosbys of the block because we would have like family game night. Nice. Movie night. And they're like, oh, it's time for your family pizza night. So at first I'm looking like, man, why y'all be hating? But when I go over their house, it's like, damn, like what we were saying before, you think that your world is everyone else's world, and you never know how bad or how good someone may have it, So I think that was it when I would go over their house and I'm like, where are you guys going to sit down for dinner? And
they're looking at you like, what are you talking about?
They're like, yeah, we get whatever we can find.
Wow. Like, wow. Yeah.
And I was just, I'm like, I wish I could invite you over, but my mama said I can't have no company. We had no company. It was 6 of us.
No, that's right.
Like, these are your friends.
Right. That's it.
Nobody over.
Yeah, but I think that goes into that community thing. Like once you knew who was in the community, everybody was cool and comfortable with those people. Anybody else, you haven't passed the inspection.
Yeah,
you haven't been inspected by the elders.
Yeah,
and I think even that stems from African tradition. That although we're very much removed ancestrally, we don't know Africa like that because we're not from there. But our ancestors, I think there's certain things that got passed down through the generations.
I agree. Yeah.
And we hold on to it, whether we realize where it's from or how we hold on to it or not. So.
And I agree with that because I was just telling you, my first time going to the motherland was in Ghana, and I just want to let every black person know that time doesn't exist. Did
you go? Was that the year of return that they did?
I went for the Starline Festival though, so that was in no, that was just like last month.
I was gonna say you just went with that crew of okay.
So it was like last month.
We all know about it because Kendra G post a lot.
She does.
Kendra G kept us all involved with what was going on. I'm gonna have to get Kendra G on here.
No, for real.
She kept us all involved with what was going on in Ghana. But
she is like top tier. Because I'm like, damn, my battery died. I'm backstage sleep. Like, are you okay? And that's how you know it's time to go. Like, you can't be falling asleep in random places.
So,
I was so sleepy.
Talk to me. How was that whole experience? Because, like I said, I saw people social media, post about it and stuff, but you were there.
Yeah.
How was it?
I didn't get a chance to post as much as I would have liked to.
Because you was too busy enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I was trying to live in the moment. Like, I wish I could be like that, where it's just like, oh, let's get this picture, let's do this. But it's kind of hard when you want to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And plus, I just don't want to be one of them people. I got to wait to get a little more status. But I just be there trying to catch a vibe, and just connect with the people who connect with me. But that was it. It was just a connection, and they say... There's a couple of people that I've talked to that said they cried on their journey there, and I did too. I did. I smoked with some Ghanaians there, and apparently, like, my friend was like, "Are you okay? Because you were standing in the same spot for 4 hours." So I'm like, that was my first time ever.
What exactly were you smoking?
Okay, look, I don't smoke. Just for the record, I don't do nothing.
I mean, look, you were in Ghana, so whatever laws apply here don't apply there. We understand that.
I'm like, I'm just about to live, but I really was thinking about it. I was soaking it all in, and just the people there. I admire the fact that they're able to tell you, like, you're wrong for this. This is foolish. And they can go on about their way. They don't have to yell, and they don't have to.
Everything don't end in a street brawl or shooting.
They don't gotta shoot and fight. I seen so many people arguing, and that was it. They just argued,
and they walked
walking away, arguing while they walking away. Like my mama, when she want to say like something about somebody cleaning up, just keep talking to us, kind of walking down.
See, that's good. I don't think I've ever seen people walk away from an argument.
Yes.
Not outside.
And that's what I like. You can tell the difference between the Americans. Even in the airport, the Americans were the ones that's like, and then they were just looking like,
what's wrong with y'all? Y'all need to chill.
it's just a lot of anger that's built. I don't know what it is. We're naturally, I guess, aggressive.
Yeah.
But you don't have to take it there. And I wish every black person could go there. I think it should be funded by the government.
Well, I was about to say, I think you just touched on something. I think America as a whole itself is aggressive. We're aggressive in the American mentality, but I also think being black in America makes you hyper aggressive, because you're always in fight or flight mode.
It's viral.
Every situation is fight or flight mode. So we live in a constant state of heightened awareness and heightened aggravation and heightened all of that stuff. Some people say, I've heard people liken being black in America to being in the military, being in an awards situation, because your head's on the swivel. You never can just relax. So it's interesting when you say a lot of us went over there, and in Ghana they chill, and we the ones that's all rah-rah, and they like, just chill out.
Yeah, like they'll say something to you, like, what do you do? Like, this foolish, like, they ain't. You just be like, yeah, whatever, okay. Sure.
Who all was on that show?
A lot of people.
That you remember? I know Chance the rapper was on it.
Yep, and then
Vic Mensa, I think, was on it.
Yep, and
that's the Chicago folks.
Yeah, Vic, like, he did his thing, man. Like, I really appreciated him doing that for the people and together from opposite sides of the world.
Yeah.
Bringing us back home.
I
don't think I would have had that opportunity to go if my buddy didn't call and say, "Hey, you want to go?" And I'm like, all right. I've always wanted to go to the motherland.
Yeah.
So I.
Well, I'm a little jealous of you on that one. I haven't been yet, and I keep saying I want to tap dance.
You're gonna love it.
In the place where tap dance was literally created, like that for me, that's gonna be a full circle moment.
You're gonna cry.
I believe it.
Can you record it?
oh, definitely. We're going to be out here with our little pod mics and our streaming Mevo cameras, and we're going to see what we can do.
I hope that you get a chance to experience that. I feel like every black person should experience it. And I want to be able to take my ancestry DNA test, because it hurt for them to say, "Oh, where are you from? What tribe are you from?"
And you're like, I have not a clue.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that only black folks in America have. Nobody else has that problem. Everybody knows where they're from.
Yep.
And they can literally trace it back. But because of slavery and all those things that happen, ripping us apart and displacing us and mixing us up and all that, we have no idea. And that's also by design.
Religion, we have nothing.
Yeah, and that's also by design, though. Like that.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, do you believe it's really black magic, or were they afraid of our power? And is black magic evil?
Oh no, I don't. I believe all the religions that our ancestors practiced were just that. It was their religions. It was their connection to spirituality. And I think you can tell, like, Hollywood makes fun of, they call it, and whenever you see black magic or things considered along that vein in a movie, it's called voodoo. But that even voodoo is a Hollywood made up this thing. Vodun is what it's really called. And I don't believe that the stuff that our ancestors practiced was innately evil. I just think that, like anything,
it's how you use it.
It's how you use it. You can be fully Christian and pray, and you can pray for somebody's downfall, and it might happen. Does that mean Christianity is evil? No. It's how you used it. Yeah. So I do believe that it could have been used for things like, I was watching this documentary called 1804 about the Haitian Revolution. And, how so few Haitians beat so many French folks is because the Haitians weaponized their surroundings. So they knew every plant. They knew, if I run this way and I avoid these plants, the French running after me going to fall into these plants and they'll kill them. That's just knowing nature. So, no, I don't think it's evil at all. So I think black magic is actually a good word. I like it. I like it.
I have to look at that documentary.
1804, The Hidden History of Haiti. Okay. It's a whole thing about the Haitian Revolution. Wow. Okay. It's pretty good. Tariq Nasheed is the brother who put that out.
I was. It just made me think about this book, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Uncle Tom's Cabin. Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you remember where they were basically saying that they would have these fights about who the best slave owner was, and then they would literally get into altercation when that's not
like that is not something to be.
I just feel like this is the same thing that we're going through now. we're friends the wrong people.
Yeah,
so I'm just looking like this happened all the way back then, and it's still like we can get, like when you're saying things are passed down, that might be one of the things that were passed down, unfortunately, and I want us to wake up.
Yeah, there's some things that we've passed down. I can agree with you that some things have become tradition that don't necessarily need to or didn't have to. I think, like our ancestors, there's things we did out of the necessity of the situation we were in. Once we were no longer in that situation, I think the changes could have happened. But by that time, it's now set, and so we pass it down. Are
you more Malcolm X or Dr. King?
Ooh, so I did a whole podcast called Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Okay.
Check this out. That's a good question. So I was of the either or ilk early on in my life because my mom's a Black Panther.
Okay.
So I grew up.
I'm just finding out more and more.
Yeah. Okay, so I grew up in a household, the son of a Black Panther. So obviously Malcolm X, with the way I grew up, those sentiments connected with me more. Like I used to hate when somebody started singing "We Shall Overcome." It used to piss me off. Like I would be mad. Like here we go begging again. Here we go asking again. Here we go. I'm like, we need to take.
Yes, sir, no, sir. But your shoes, your
right.
Get it.
But as I got older and I started to really learn about Martin Luther King beyond the "I Have a Dream" speech, because there was a whole man, there was a reverend, there was a doctor, and those two things get left out a lot. Even on his name, as it said, because it reduces him down to he was a man of God and he was an educated man and he was fighting for his people. So when I look at it from that lens, I'm like, Plus, I also think Martin Luther King or Malcolm X made Martin Luther King necessary. Like all those folks that thought that was too radical and that was too much, I'm gonna go with the peaceful one. So it's kind of like they played off of each other. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm literally either and on Martin Luther King. I think both of them were very important in the work that they did, and they both needed each other, whether they realized or not, which I believe they did toward the end. There's pictures of them together when there were none early on in their individual life cycles, because they were starting to influence each other. And that's when folks said, oh, no, they got to go. Yeah. Because I think to this day, that is still the fear of anybody who wants to keep people down, is those people coming together and rising up together. Yeah. If you rise up over there and I rise up over here, well, I can just shut you down and somebody can shut me down. But we rising up together, it's harder to shut us down. Yeah. And I think that's where we are right now in this country. We not. Yeah. It's even more divisions. It's more divisive than ever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what about you, King or X?
Well, now you've changed my mind.
Welcome to the Either and podcast.
See, I was more Malcolm X just because I really admired his way of going about it. And it's like you kill Dr. Martin Luther King. You killed Dr. Martin Luther King, and then you killed Malcolm X. One was the more hateful one who, he preaches hate, he does this. This is the more peaceful one, and you still took them both out. So which one can we be?
And that will be the neither and podcast. But no, you're absolutely right. Even the people that loved Martin Luther King, they still killed him. They still got rid. And in Martin Luther King's time, he was very much hated. Yeah. They romanticize him now. And again, they romanticize
the other side.
They romanticize one speech in particular and a few lines out of that speech. But Letters from a Birmingham Prison, like there's the stuff King wrote right before he passed. He was on that economic deal. And see, when you start hitting people in their pockets, that's when folks got to go.
I agree with that. Money, which means money is still the roots and the cause and the power.
Yeah, and it's funny, I never agreed with that thing. People used to always say, money's the root of all evil. Money's the root of all evil. And I never agreed with that for a long time. I think it's how you use it.
That happened with regular people on the street in Chicago. A little money. I'm talking not big money. $20. $40.
Yeah, I just think it motivates who you actually are to come out fully. It's the same thing with alcohol. People be like, I don't know why I did that. It was that's you. It was just, you need an excuse to let who you really are come out.
I'm a clown on drinking. That's like, that's not angry. It's just silly and
because I think that's who you are.
Yeah,
you're a fun person in that when you get under any influence, you're more fun.
No, you need to leave me alone.
So Vanessa brought up a good point on that either and thing. It seems like no matter what happens in this world, what things black people overcome, what things women in particular overcome, especially what things black women overcome, there's always that pitting of one against the other. Like there's only room for one, and so we're going to make y'all fight it out. Yeah,
I think that's changing now.
You think so?
I do. They still do it, but I think that there's small steps towards a bigger goal that's happening right now. The only thing I don't like is that a lot of the artists are sounding the same. It's like the same flow and the same style. Like back then, and I'm not saying this to be caught up on the past, like like people say. It's just the facts are the facts, and you cannot argue.
I don't know. We live in a world now where facts aren't necessary. There's alternative facts and your facts and my facts.
No, a fact, which is that I could tell who Missy Elliot was and who Eve was and who Lauryn Hill was and just MC Light and Salt and Pepper. Like you can tell just the way they approach their voices. They mattered because they wasn't trying to sound like no gimmick. They wasn't trying to be anybody else but them and authentically themselves, genuine to who they are. And you can tell who's fake and phony about, like you can tell who's pushing them to do this or show more of your body or do this. Like,
yeah.
That's why I admire Missy Elliot so much.
It's funny. You made me think of her, the artist Her. When she first came out, I loved the way that she dressed. I loved the way, and just because she wasn't necessarily showing anything in particular, her hair was always back. She had sunglasses on, and Her was the name she chose, so you didn't even know her real name. Yeah. So you were forced to focus on her artistry. Exactly. And I thought that was dope. And I feel like that about Janelle Monáe too. Like the kind of like she wore her black and white. She called that her uniform, and she was like, "I'm just gonna come out here in a black suit. And I'm gonna do my thing." And I remember some guys I knew having a little debate about if she was pretty or not. I was like, "Oh, she fine. Y'all just ain't used to seeing beautiful women who aren't naked." Now
what's new? What's new to it? Like all y'all got your ass out on Instagram. Okay, it ain't even no type of reveal party.
Well, and you know what? And it's not to be a man who body shames at all. I think women should be able to do whatever they want to do. And how we as men respond to it.
Suit with everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to follow just because everybody's doing it. You're absolutely right. But so Rihanna just did her thing at the Super Bowl, and I'm curious. I'm curious to know how you felt about it. I thought it was
part of the Navy. Okay. Right there.
So wait. So before you get to that, but I do remember when was it Stephen A. Smith? He put a book out and he was interviewing, and they were like, "Rihanna's doing the Super Bowl. Are you excited?" And he was like, "She ain't no Beyonce." And he set the world, the Twitterverse on fire and all that stuff. And I heard a lot of people talking about why we got to keep pitting them against each other. They're not the same kind of artists.
They got their own artistry. Leave them alone. Yeah. Like, it's the same for the men. Y'all don't do that to the men. And they walking around here with 10 and 12 kids, but nobody calls them a whore.
There's a whole generation of mumble rap where you can't tell nobody from nobody, but people still don't tell them they should be the only ones or they should be like them.
And that's the same. That's the same thing. They all using the same auto-tune. It's the same thing. Ain't nobody like bust a bus. You could tell that was
right.
Nas, Biggie, Eminem. That was my favorite person. And just Most Def, Common. You can just tell who was who. They just
I think that's why
what's happening
when anybody comes out new and they're about their artistry, they either turn into superstars because now they're like Kendrick Lamar is to me is incomparable as an MC, like that, because he came out at a time when mumble rap was big and he came out speaking. Talking and off the chain with the rhyme scheme and all of that stuff too. But I think go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's my mission, is to stand out and not to be totally compared to, oh yeah, this, because sometimes I've like heard people call me a Lauryn Hill on steroids, or like a Baby Badu, and like I mean I
not some
that.
Those I was gonna say them some not so bad comparisons though.
And I love Rihanna, her, SZA, like the people who I love Beyonce too. Can you be a part of the Beehive and the Navy?
I guess so. I don't think I'm a part of either of the clubs, but I got more respect and admiration for both of them as artists.
Yeah, I just like it's a
and
challenge.
businesswomen.
Absolutely. And it's tough in business too. Just to be able to
Baby Badu. And okay, so I really want to hear your stuff now.
Yeah, I met and mine's is all over the place. Vanessa knows, like it's everywhere imaginable, and I tell people this all the time. I can hold my own on any track with any artist. Okay, and that's just because of my versatility. So I could get on a track with Bruno Mars and Kendrick Lamar and Rihanna if I so choose. Pop artists, R&B artists, hip hop artists. You put me there, and I will be able to prevail. Okay. So I think that people just have a hard time placing me somewhere, which is why I feel like I haven't hit that plateau that I really want to be able to go to. So I'm figuring out those next steps. And it's hard because people do compare you. Okay. But the Baby Badu is something that people do call me.
What was the other one you said? Lauryn on steroids. Yeah. Lauryn Hill on steroids and Baby Badu. Like, those are two dope references. Like if you got to compare somebody, that's a good comparison. I go on now, Sheila E. the drums, and then I get on. That's right. You play the drums. See.
So they be looking like, what's going on?
So here's what I like. And coming out of Black History Month and going into Women's History Month, I think you are a wonderful person to interview, because you will be women's history soon, because you're going to make a mark on this world, and they ain't going to be ready for it.
Thank you. Put it in.
But it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
And whatever that may be.
And I'm be like, and she was on the Either And podcast first. You heard her.
I'm already
first.
Speaking to a legend. So I love what you're doing here. I love what you're doing for the community.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Like you.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Mentorship. I just love it. I'm mesmerized by all the pictures and the things that you're doing, and
thank you.
Story. I resonate with it.
Thank you. Well, I call this the house that Tap built.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for me coming from North Lawndale and being exposed to it at BBF on the West Side, it's now taking me all over the world. And I just want to return that back to my community. People's like, you should set up and be downtown. I'm like, nope.
You got to have something in
your I want to be hit. That's coming next. That's going to be the next move.
It's not that as expensive. I think it's 10,000 here would be 100,000 there. That's why people are building houses.
And go. Oh yeah.
Like that.
Go start Mad Rhythms Ghana.
Yeah, that
could be okay. Dope. I'm saying it out loud because you put it out there. That's right. You got to put it out there. All right. Well, that's gonna bring us to the close. Man, 45 minutes talking to you flew super fast.
Yeah, I didn't even get to my points. I'm like, we over here talking for real.
But it's a podcast. We can always do it again. Plus, you got to interview me on your platform, and we'll make those connections. We'll keep the connections going and growing. Plus, you're gonna come back to Top Class. You're gonna get this grown and sexy. You hopefully you got bit by the bug. That's right.
I'm excited for that.
Well, this has been another edition of the Either And podcast. I'm your host, Brill Barrett. Let's give a special thanks to our guest, Bianca Shaw.
Thank you so much for having me.
You want to leave anybody with a last word?
Yep. My last word is please follow me on all social media platforms at Bianca Shaw Music.
At Bianca Shaw Music.
Also, don't let nobody deter you and discourage you from your dreams. Just make sure you keep pushing, stay consistent, and stay the course.
I like that. Stay the course. That's a word. As always, I'll leave you with respect the dance. And we out of here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.